Welcome to a new show that will keep you up to date with the latest soccer news here and around the world. I'm your host, Daniela Marlanda, and hope you'll stay with us. UCFC starts right now. Joined here by Alexis Gwynn and Brandon Carney. How you doing today, guys?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good.
So on the menu today, we have World Cup qualifiers, and we'll be talking about Team USA. Who is in trouble right now? What do you guys think? Are they going to make it?
Well, let's look here at our background for the UConn Men soccer team who lost against the number one ranked Maryland on Monday night, and we'll tell you what happened.
But first, let's talk about the World Cup qualifiers. Less than 56 days for the draw and less than 249 days before the kickoff in Russia. And only 8 teams have secured their place in Russia, and some big names are in trouble of not joining the biggest sporting event of all. Brendan Carney here will tell us what is going on right now with our own country.
Yeah, well, on Friday, the United States plays Panama in a decisive game. There's so many things at stake in this one, not only for the United States, but for the other contenders in CONCACAF. If the U.S. loses, their chances of making it to the World Cup fall to 28%, and Panama will automatically make it into the World Cup. Costa Rica will also be looking closely at the game while they play Honduras. A loss or a tie for them means they get to be closer to qualifying to Russia. Honduras could overtake the U.S. and just kill their World Cup dreams. Remember, CONCACAF has 3.5 spots. Mexico is already qualified, and whoever is fourth will have to play against Syria or Australia.
And that's definitely something that to keep in mind. I think still fans, media, and coaches are focusing too much on the venues and what time they play, and there's no turning back this time. So if they lose on Friday, the chances are very slim to make it to the World Cup. So I ask you both of you, what do you guys think? Will the United States make it?
I actually think they will make it because their defensive line is good. You also can't forget about the kid Christian Pulisic, and also the team has Tim Howard, who last World Cup was amazing saves in the goal. So I think they will.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it too. There's been a lot of talk about Pulisic not being able to come up in these big games. All you see during United States games is tweets about why isn't the Wonder Kid showing up and stuff like that. And it is fair to criticize when there are graphics being made about comparing him to Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But I think he's due. I think he is going to finally show up in a big game, and I think he's going to lead them into the World Cup.
Well, thank you, guys. So when we come back after this commercial break, we'll be looking around the world for those teams that are in trouble. Stay with us. Now let's travel down south where Argentina is struggling like in the past 2 World Cup qualifier cycles. Last game they tie and remain in 5th place, and they're playing against Peru, who in 1970 left Argentina out of the World Cup the last time that they were out. With this in mind, guys, can we imagine a World Cup without Lionel Messi, arguably the best player in the world? Without it?
No, I can't. It's craziness. There's so many teams in the World Cup. The fact that the best player in the world isn't going to be, involved at all is crazy. If you look at the NBA, what's an NBA playoffs without LeBron James? It's just such a guy who's such a draw to not be in the World Cup. It's just a travesty. It's a huge marketing problem for the World Cup, probably too. A lot of fans around the world are tuning in just to see Messi because he's so good at what he does. It would be very, very strange not to see him.
Alexis, what do you think?
I would have to agree. Argentina still has a chance to take advantage of because they have Messi in their team, so it wouldn't be the same without Argentina in the World Cup.
Definitely, guys. This would be unimaginable for a lot of fans around the world. But our next stop takes us to Asia for the playoff game between Syria and Australia. And this game is between the 4th and the 5th place to get that chance to play against a CONCACAF team. Now, the story of Syria is that of a country that's torn by a bloody civil war and a soccer team that could provide some of the only happiness that they have right now. They haven't played at home at all, so they don't have that home field advantage because of the war. And last game, they won in a dramatic fashion against Iran, scoring their tying goal in the dying moments of the game. What do you think, Alexis?
It's a story that warms your heart, actually, really. It's just a story that sports people like because of what they present.
Yeah, I agree. The game pulls at the heartstrings, but in the end, it's a soccer match, and I think Australia has too much pride, good players, and will give it their all. They'll probably win this game.
I would have to agree, although Syria would make a better story, bring it into the storylines, not only because of what represents for that country, but because we might have to see a Syria game against the United States, and it will bring all that political talk into a soccer game. And we know that a lot of people don't like to mix, but in this case, it's almost unavoidable. So now we're gonna keep things local. MLS just got another team, and the UConn men's soccer team was close to upsetting number 1 Maryland. We'll be right back.
You gonna be what you be. Hey, say what you wanna do with your life. Say.
Welcome back. We're almost done here, but before we go, we just want to take a look at the soccer landscape here in our countries. Alexis, what do we have?
Well, Nashville got the bid for an expansion team for an MLS, and we'll have the 23rd team in the nation. Good city, good atmosphere, soccer keeps growing.
Definitely a good thing to have here. I don't know. I think Nashville is a good city. I think it will be a lot like Atlanta. They have a great team. They almost always fill up the new Falcon Stadium, so that's great to see the sport growing. What else do we have?
Well, to finish off, UConn's men's soccer team played Maryland Monday night, and the Go Patrol tried to hype up the game, but at the end, Maryland just was better.
What else can you tell us about that game?
Well, Maryland was a much better team. Although the score was 3-2, it made the game seem closer than it really was. So Danielle, at the game Monday night, she has the story.
Coming into Monday night's game, the UConn men's soccer team was riding a 3-game winning streak, but number 1 Maryland proved to be too much for the Huskies. UConn fans were ready to show the pride of this program in the stands, and UConn was ready to face the number 1 ranked Maryland on Monday night.
I think we saw early on we had trouble keeping up with the pace.
And it's true, Maryland dictated the pace and tempo of the game, and the right defensive side was the place Maryland chose to attack and create chances. UConn tried to play long balls and defend the attacks as well as it could, but Maryland was better with the ball and was able to break through with a goal by forward Eric Williamson. Ray Reid quickly made adjustment, and super sub Nico Pedraitis came on, and a few minutes after, he led the attack that ended up with the penalty for UConn scored by Blaise Ngog, and we were 1-1 at halftime. For the second half, UConn reorganized itself and improved, but Maryland is Maryland, and they quickly put themselves 3-1 over the Huskies.
The best team in the country. I don't think there's anybody in college soccer who has as many weapons as they do.
UConn kept pushing and finally had shots on goal, and with 3 minutes to go, a mistake by the Terps defense allowed freshman Nicolas Apostol to score his first goal of the season. Time ran out for the Huskies, sealing their fate 3-2, and that's how Monday Night Soccer ended for the Huskies. The Huskies will be traveling to Cincinnati in hopes to maintain their perfect record in conference play. From Joseph J. Moroni Stadium, I'm Daniela Marulanda, UC Sports. That's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Alexis, for being here with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And we'll keep you updated next week with more soccer from stores. Have a good day.